just a little snug heading into the Kennedy. The Kennedy itself, 58 minutes. So here into downtown, 35 on the outbound trip. Eisenhower, it's about 55 minutes in from 390 outbound. Looks like crews are still working that crash at Austin. About a 40-minute travel time from downtown out to 390. That's traffic. I'm Amanda Cernecki. On AM 560, The Answer.
Chicago's Morning Answer continues next in our 1-hour heating and air conditioning weather center. Brisk, bitterly cold, but with some sunshine. High 15 today. Currently, it is 1 above officially at O'Hare. Next news at 9. Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan and Amy continues next on AM 560, The Answer.
This hourly segment is brought to you by In the Know with Wealth Management Group, hosted by Craig Bolanos. Heard Sunday mornings at 10.
On a very special Valentine's Day edition of Chicago's Morning Answer, a Second Amendment love story.
Oh, yeah. We've been waiting for this story all day.
Have we? I'm not quite sure which one it is. All right, I'll go along with it.
But real quickly, since it is Valentine's Day, we want to thank John. Hold on. John got us some chocolate-covered strawberries. Sorry, John, didn't fare so well sitting overnight on our desk.
Yeah.
But that wasn't white chocolate on that strawberry. But he also got us some chocolate-covered. These are chocolate turtles, right?
No, they're better than turtles.
What are they?
Like a cashew.
Oh,
it's good
cashews.
stuff.
We know who likes cashews. We'll tell that story later. But thank you to John, who gave Dan and Amy this lovely heart-shaped box
Well,
with
Dan
candy
didn't
inside.
get any, but he doesn't need any. Do you see the way he's built like a bowling pin? Last thing he needs
What do you
is
mean?
chocolate.
Dan is not. Let's not fat shame Dan Proft. He looks fine.
It's like a tall Pete Buttigieg to me. But go ahead.
Oh, okay. All right. So this very special Second Amendment story. We want to welcome back to the program Chuck DeCaro and his wife Lynne Russell with their Second Amendment love story. Do tell. Who wants to go first, Chuck or Lynn?
Good morning.
Hi. Good
Go
morning
ahead,
to
Lynn.
both of you.
Good morning. Good morning, everybody. I'd like to say happy Valentine's Day to my hero, because we're not in the same city even this Valentine's Day. But my
he's
alpha
my hero
male
too
is,
now. Now he's my hero. But go ahead.
No,
we celebrated our Valentine's Day early last weekend. Tell them what we're doing, Lynn.
Well, actually, we were requalifying for our Washington, D.C. and Maryland concealed carry permits, which requires 2 days of classroom and then hours at the range. So the hours at the range really were basically foreplay for us for Valentine's Day.
That's
Wow.
awesome.
This is
Say
great.
our Valentine's Day was early and went off with a bang.
Hey!
Several bangs.
All right, so how long have you've been together for how long? Tell us your love story.
6
or how you
weeks.
met. No.
No, I'm kidding.
Well, I fell in love with her in 1983. Unfortunately, she was married to somebody else at the time. I was in Nicaragua by myself with the guerrillas, and they had this battery-powered TV. And the Costa Ricans were stealing CNN headline off the satellite and distributing it around the country.
Oh, that's awesome.
So even in the jungle with a boat battery running the television, they would get CNN headline. And one night, after being in the jungle for a couple of weeks and all you're listening to are natural sounds, you suddenly hear this mellifluous voice in English and this blue glow from the TV. You turn around and here's Lynne Russell, CNN. I'm going, I got to go to Atlanta.
Yeah, they call that stalking now, but
No,
that's okay.
they don't.
No, you were way ahead of your time. Go ahead.
So then, Lynn, how did you meet him after he first recognized you on TV and across the world?
He was my hero already because he had filed a 13-minute story, and we ran it on Headline News, which is Headline News at the time was actually doing news, and it was a sort of a radio format for TV, and the stories were pretty short, But that 13-minuter gave us a chance to do, get up, go to the bathroom, do all these things, and listen to it at the same time. No, I was listening. But anyway, he comes in. I always thought he was really cute, But here's this lanky Italian boy who walks in his camos, and I thought, okay, and I clean up pretty good, so I'm sitting there on the set, and he comes over to me and he says, it's a good thing you're not a blue-eyed blonde, because I could really go for you.
Oh, that's a good line.
Yeah.
Chuck.
Uh-huh.
Well, it's confusing.
Listen, now, that was a perfectly calculated line because She wasn't expecting it. She gave me that look like a Labrador when you do a kissing sound and banked her head.
Careful.
So she was vulnerable, and I said, "Hey, let's go for coffee." She said, "Oh, okay, sure."
Oh my gosh! All right, so
But then we never spent much time together after that at all. We saw each other only a couple of times. I pinned on his air assault wings when he went through the air assault training at Fort Campbell a few years later as a civilian. And I said to my husband, "I'm going to go pin on my friend's wings. You want to come?" He goes, "No, you go." So I went, and it was just like a day trip. And then I saw him one other time for during a business thing. And the next thing I knew, but I always thought about him. He was so cute. But whenever when I had his contact information in my computer, I didn't have his name. I had the Italian words "troppo pericoloso," too dangerous.
Oh, I like
Listen to
it.
this. You know what, Chuck? Here's the thing. You're a
'Cause
maestro.
Chuck, he's Italian.
But I'm going
Sean's
to tell you
Italian.
something right now. I'm from a little Italian neighborhood. I'm only half Italian. But that
Oh.
move,
With the butter half.
listen, that's the shun technique in picking up women. First, you shun them, then you
Oh.
caress them. Chuck's implementing an old neighborhood trick here. This is nothing new, but I like the way he did it. He did it good.
Hey, look, I had to come up with a good line. I had to meet her.
Yeah.
She's married. She makes more money for CNN than anybody else on the network.
I
And
didn't
if,
get it.
If you said anything that could be thought of as negative, you're going to get fired. So I came up with that line, and she was startled,
All's fair,
Smiled
baby.
and-
I love it. I
All right,
love
so
it.
then let's move forward from there. You went on a road trip from D.C. to Los Alamitos, California.
Well, we got married first. Don't forget that part,
Oh,
Amy.
okay, sorry. All right, so how did you
Oh
propose?
yeah, like that was. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
Well, in 2011, I would write to her, every couple of months, "Hi, how are you?" And she said, "Oh, I'm getting a divorce." And to which I said, "Divorce?" I said, "Well, why don't you come with me to Italy?" She said, "No, why don't you go up to Toronto?" She was living in Toronto at the time. So the next day, there's a doorbell. "Hi, I'm here."
See, first he
that
did the
is
slap and tickle. Then he
See,
suggests
now,
Italy.
okay.
You see, he's a master, this guy. Master.
So he did that, and everything, worked out. It was as if we had been together all our lives. It was just like, I don't know, just everything just clicked perfectly, deja vu. So we get married in Italy a couple of years later. We've been married 6 years now almost. And a year, just before our first wedding anniversary, we took a road trip from the D.C. area to California because he had work to do, Pentagon-related work to do in California with the National Guard. We said, let's take a road trip. So we had our dear old 13-year-old Weimaraner, Oliver, with us, and we made frequent stops, and he had to make frequent stops, right? And we wound up in Albuquerque, New Mexico, and we had dinner with friends, and we were going to see Route 66, and then we thought, well, we can't do that in the dark, so let's stop. It's 11:30 at night, and we stopped at a brightly lit, we thought, safe Motel 6, which is dog friendly, and we needed to run him in and out, during the night.
Yeah.
And the dog. And so
Thanks.
anyway, one thing led to another. Chuck brought our legal weapons in. We knew we would have to disarm at the California border, and he put them on the bedside table between the beds and took a shower. And I realized, we don't have dog food for the morning. I don't want to have to go out there early in the morning. So I went out, got the dog food from the car. Nobody was in evidence at all. Put the stuff down in front of the door to get the motel door open, and this guy with a gun comes around the corner and literally launches me into the room. And I thought, this is bad. And about that time, Chuck, I hear him over my shoulder. The cavalry has arrived. He's coming out dripping wet, looking for a towel. And he says, "What the hell is going on in here?" And the guy wanted to rob us, but wouldn't take anything. And it was getting bad. And we were both, I have to say, pretty mellow. Chuck with his military training, and I'd been a deputy. But we both thought, we checked later with each other, and we both thought, this guy's going to shoot when he gets something. You could just feel it. He was real
Right.
comfortable with that. So
wait, was he armed at the time, or he was not armed?
Oh, yeah. Who, me?
No. The person
assailant.
that pushed you into the
Yeah, he was armed with
No,
a
he had a big
380
shiny gun.
pistol.
Yeah.
Wow.
And did he
Yeah.
demand? So he didn't demand any money or any. What,
Well, yeah,
He
he
wanted
said, I want your
money,
money. To which I said, being
but
a
we
wise
didn't have
ass, I
any.
said, hey, it's 2015. Nobody carries cash anymore. Here's our credit cards. Go away.
yeah.
And, he said, no, I need something valuable, and started going through our goods. And,
Which was fine. He could have
Lynn
anything
saw
he
that I was,
wanted.
trying to reach for the pistols. She diverted his attention, slipped one of the pistols into her purse, and then hands me her Kate Spade purse. So I'm standing there naked, soaking wet, shaking from the air conditioning, holding a Kate Spade purse with
Wow.
a pistol in it. And
That's
my
this
thinking
Italian
process,
boy.
Yeah.
the thinking process was, okay, I can shoot him through the purse, but I'm not sure the weapon would reciprocate because the purse is full of, what we call girl stuff.
Right.
And,
Yeah,
the
you don't want to
slide comes
ricochet
back
when
and
you're naked. No ricochet.
Yeah, well, and plus I'm naked. So, and the thought was, if I shoot him through the purse, I might miss, and two, then I'm gonna have to buy her another $1,500 Kate Spade frigging purse.
It's only
So,
500.
At that moment, he goes down and starts to take my computers, but there was more than one laptop in the bag, so he was off balance. And he must have seen me flinch because he started shooting. And I'm, a quarter second behind him. But he wasn't ready for a naked 65-year-old Italian former Special Forces soldier to yell Ranger at the top of his lungs, go into the combat crouch, advance, aiming for center mass.
Yeah.
So did you plug him? Did you shoot him?
Yeah, one through one lung, one through the other lung, one through the heart, one through the head.
Nice.
And the other
That's
three into my
grouping.
computer because it was in the center mass.
Damn it, you lost the computer anyway.
Oh,
$1,700.
Well, but he shot Chuck 3 times, and 2 of them were
Yeah.
through and through. So he had 5 bleeding wounds. You know what we didn't say is that when Chuck came in looking for the towel, he had the presence of mind to stand and the guts to walk into the room and stand in front of the guns.
wow.
So the assailant never saw them.
I like to walk around naked too, though. It's just showing off. Chuck knows.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Oh, yeah. So how is this? How does that incident change your lives and your marriage?
Well, I still got some shrapnel and 10 operations, but I think Lynn has suffered more from this than I have. I mean, I just had physical pain. She was watching me bleed to death, and, the whole place was covered with blood. And our dog was in shock, and he was elderly to start with. And because I disappeared for 3 months in hospitals, he never recovered. And Lynn had to put him down because they wouldn't let me out of the hospital. So she's, had some good deal of trauma to have to deal with. So I think, Lynn has suffered more in this than I have. What do you think, Lynn?
Well, we both have, but it certainly has made us even stronger. An interesting sidebar here. One of my PTSD therapists, the police said, "You've got to go." We would have to go. You just have to do it.
Yeah.
One of my therapists who had worked at the VA and understood about firearms and self-protection and basically the United States. Apparently, she was a closet anti-Trump person, and after the election, she showed up so disheveled, and she told me, she said, "I can't see you anymore."
Oh my God! Really?
Can you imagine?
No.
There's some other sidebars to this, like our insurance company took one look at the pictures of the blood all over my suits, my shirts, my computers, all that, and they picked up the tab. It's USAA.
Chuck, I'll tell you, you
I
are the
love
luckiest
USAA.
son of
I
a
got
gun.
them
I mean,
too.
this whole story, it's just Chuck is the winner, chicken dinner. What about the first husband? Is he at some roadside tavern, drunk out of his mind? Whatever happened to him?
Who cares?
All right.
We're moving
Well,
forward, not backwards.
Yeah, well,
Which one?
Which one exactly?
yeah, which one, Lynn?
And Lynn, I remember watching you on CNN all the time. You were just amazing. Are you related by any chance to Jane Russell?
Actually, yes.
Ah, I
Jane
can see.
Russell.
See? I can see the.
This Chuck
It was
is
her
just a
husband,
winner.
John
I
Peoples.
can't believe it.
Well, you guys, thank
Her
you.
husband
This is.
got us together. It was her husband who got us together, John Peoples, and we did background research, and we're distant cousins. Both of our families went out of their way to come over from Europe and go to the frozen
North
is right,
Dakota.
Grand Forks, North Dakota. Nobody goes there by accident. I'm sorry.
Chuck is as lucky as a Chicago Democrat. Good
well,
for
we're
you,
going to have
Chuck.
to leave it there for today, but I have to tell you, thank you so much for sharing your story. I'm glad you both made it out of there alive, and happy
Thank
Valentine's Day.
Well, thanks. Hey,
Thank
Amy,
you.
one more thing.
Yes, sir.
Okay. When I was in the hospital, my old friend and boss from Paramount, Don Belisario, for whom I was technical advisor for Magnum, Quantum Leap, JAG, and in the first couple of seasons of NCIS, found out immediately that I'd been wounded, and he said, I want you to come to my place in Montecito, California to recover. I'll send my jet.
Wow.
And he did.
Let me guess. Sophia Loren gave you a sponge bath. I mean, how long? Are you kidding me?
Oh.
No, it was a jacuzzi.
All right.
Yeah. Oh, you're the best. All right, Chuck.
Can I
yes.
just say
Sure.
one more thing? See how things change in life. To everyone listening, just imagine how things change in life, and things you would never expect, good things, come out of bad things. Years ago, at CNN headline news, we women would wear black on Valentine's Day. That was just the way it was.
Yeah.
And, because we knew too much. And now look how things change. So there you
Yeah,
go.
Fox News is like the crazy horse. I love it.
Oh, God.
Thank you.
All right, Chuck DeCaro and Lynne Russell, a pleasure to have you on. Thank you